Hi everyone, this is Chef Vikas Khanna. I'm shooting for Variety India. Amritsar the Munda remains very much Amritsar the Munda. I'm never going to forget what Shah Rukh Khan said that when he entered Bungalow, he's saying, every restaurant I've been to before this seemed like a shop, and this feels like a temple. That we feel that now food is not just about telling the story of the cuisine and people. This is all about learning how we can reinvent this entire thing ourselves. So gobi, shalgam, gajar ka achar, you can buy me with that. I launched my biggest work of art, my movie with Shabana, Azmi and Rahman and Prateik, Babbar. That's going to be a defining force of my career, where I can use cinema as a tool to promote Indian food and our journey and struggles. We are at Mezzo Mezzo at JW Marriott in Juhu. I'll be creating the dish from Mezzo Mezzo, which is pistachio tiramisu. To start with that, we have very dense espresso of Italian roast coffee beans. Am I satisfied with where I am? I think I'm a work in progress. There's still a lot of work to be done where Indian cuisine is considered at par to Italian cuisines or Asian cuisines, and we have a long way to go. I'm not going to settle down till I see Italian cuisine equal to Indian food. So we have this lady fingers. You're going to just soak them with the espresso. This is where the magic is. I started working when I was 16 professionally, running my banquets. And one thing my mom taught me that food business is about people, which happens to be serving food. So just remember, it's always going to be about how you make people feel. That is one of the foundations of my entire career. I think one thing which I protected myself when I moved to US in 2000 was that I'll always be the son of the soil. I cannot discontinue myself from my roots to achieve the limits of the sky. So creating that balance has been still learning process, but I feel so proud that every single day I represent my country. Amritsar the Munda remains very much Amritsar the Munda. I still love having fun. I don't take anything very seriously, success or failure. One thing which helped me always have my identity wear on my sleeves was that I was never ashamed. I never felt I was less on the global cuisines. I felt my identity was my strength and not my weakness. Methi aloo is my favorite Punjabi dish. So gobi, shalgam, gajar ka achar, you can buy me with that. I'm very emotional about my childhood flavors, and I still try to keep reinventing them at Bungalow menu. I'm never going to forget what Shah Rukh Khan said that when he entered Bungalow, he's saying, every restaurant I've been to before this seemed like a shop, and this feels like a temple. I think it's because the foundation of the restaurant came from too much of pain, and the vision of the restaurant was much bigger than me winning awards. It was uplifting the entire cuisine and culture. Bungalow is my last restaurant. This is the last inning of my journey. And I feel that when you have to fight for Olympics, you need to be standing at the arena of Olympics. And that is New York City. It's absolutely true that being stereotyped, it's perfectly fine. It means that you matter, you're visible. And that's what it is with a lot of Thai cuisines or Vietnamese cuisines or French cuisines or even South Korean cuisines. We just know a few dishes which hold us and invite us to the restaurant. And that has happened to Indian food through butter chickens and dal makhnis and naans and garlic naans. Now we have that engagement for Indian food. And what you see as the Bungalow menu, we only have 3 Punjabi dishes on the entire menu. So I changed the menu a lot. But we have dishes from Orissa, from Bengal. We have condiments from Pondicherry. We have stuff from Gujarat to Rajasthan to Kashmir. And when you look at the menu, it embodies the entire spirit of India. I'm absolutely understand that sometimes to survive, to adapt, to be able to sustain, you need to let few things go in your cuisine. and you have to modify it according to the palates in the Western world. But I'm glad that I have reached a status where I serve the food which is as authentic as possible. My competition is with the chefs and the restaurants which are cooking Indian food in India, and Indian homes and street vendors. So my competition is really real and authentic, and that is what represented in Bungalow menu. I did work a lot with my culinary center in Manipal, but I'm not that guy who'll open cooking schools. I feel it requires different level of commitment. I've never done anything half-heartedly in my life. So for me, it's very difficult to open a cooking school and not to be there 24 hours. We have a new book coming out, 1,000 Dishes to Try Before You Die. And I feel that that's going to be my kind of my last big cookbook. And then I'm writing so many novels and kids' book. And my mission is to reach and to publish 50 books. I'm on my way now. I've done 42 now. I love climbing the mango trees. It's Madhur Jaffrey's biography. It's about her food. And I feel that she's such a hero for Indian cuisine globally. Her book has really inspired me. Being one of the first Indian chefs globally to achieve Michelin-starred for 8 consecutive years, one thing I realized that it was not an accolade, it was not a crown, it was a responsibility. It was a responsibility to come back home and tell the story that as Indian chefs, we are enough. We have a space on global platforms now where we can be mentioned right next to Italian, French, American cuisines. And that is one thing I want to tell them, that of course learn the Western techniques, what I'm doing right now, a lot of Western techniques, but I'm also, don't forget to add my own understanding and take it and applying it to Indian food. I hold a lot of records of books, and one thing which I realized over the years was some of my best work was actually came in form of writing, fiction. People might not know that my fiction writing is actually more popular than my cookbooks, which get turned into movies and everything. So I use my energy and my creativity to create different forms for Indian food. Oh my God. I think one person who has been one of my big heroes in the world is Philippe Petit from France. If ever I can cook for him or he can read my book, it's going to be one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. Philip, you're watching. I love you. And now I'll be making another classical dish of Mezzo Mezzo. This is also a dish from the first menu of the restaurant. And I feel very fortunate because I was one of the first person who tasted this when Chef Gordon created it for the tasting. I want to quickly show you what this means. This is Stracciatella Fagottini. Fagottini in Italian means small parcels or packets. I'm going to quickly show you how we fold this. I think one of the biggest challenges what all the chefs in worldwide are facing right now is bringing people into the restaurant space. Post-pandemic, we feel that people have figured out, there are more companies figured out getting food at home, in the comfort of the home. Getting guests to a restaurant, making reservations is, I feel, one of the hardest challenges in today's time. We do love to eat outside and we do feel that, but people have started figuring out post-pandemic that it's almost like a little like hassle to go out. It's almost like movies. Like it's a very big occasion for people to go to theater and watch a movie now because people discovered that they could have the same experience watching a movie at home. Same thing restaurants are going through. But what I focus a lot is that my restaurant should be more like an experience. But in Jeff Bezos' words, the bungalow is a pilgrimage. You don't visit bungalow. You go there to pay homage to your culture and your cuisine. So to create that emotion was one of the biggest challenges in the inception of bungalow. There was nothing, when we were growing up, there was nothing as television. We just had Doordarshan. And today's vision of cooking has totally changed how we think about food. And this is an important lesson for all of us, that we feel that now food is not just about telling the story of the cuisine and people. This is all about learning how we can reinvent this entire thing ourselves. It was a conscious choice because I felt that critiquing like Gordon Ramsay would not work in India, a country where we find food as not just comfort, but a form of worship. For me to have that sensibility coming from abroad was extremely important. That constantly I tell people that we are not critiquing you, we are just telling you a new way to cook. I don't. I make movies, that's why, where I feel that I can actually make people act and tell the stories through them. I don't need to act at all. I feel cinema is one of the most powerful tools. If I need to tell the biggest story of Indian diaspora, Indian life, Indian struggle for Indian cuisine to be on this platform, I can't just tell it through books. I have to use the help of cinema. And I feel I've done it pretty well with Shabana, Azmi and A.R. Rahman with my upcoming movie, where you feel that I've told the story of Indian cooking and its journey and struggles in New York through a movie. And I feel movie has more cultural impact than any book or any show. One of the most powerful things what we can do as chefs is it's hard being so true to your own profession because the competition, stress, ambitions, they interfere a lot. So I feel discipline is the only thing which a chef can sustain a long career. This is an amazing invention, or I would say, interpretation of Italian food and Mezzo Mezzo. This is butter which is churned with truffles. So you can see this. This is going to be combining with salted butter, and that is the main sauce. I launched my biggest work of art, my movie with Shabana Azmi and A.R. Rahman and Prateik Babbar. That's going to be a defining force of my career where I can use cinema as a tool to promote Indian food and our journey and struggles. I think one of the simplest meals I've had in my life was in Golden Temple. It was not just food, it was something much more than that. And imagine when a food can be such a big source of sustenance for the soul and not just for the body. That has been one of the biggest powers for me. पोहा आजकल तो आ गया ना बहुत बढ़िया रेडीमेड पोहा बटर चिकन I'm not tired of cooking. I've cooked it a lot. I feel that's a very dark question that how you want to be remembered. I don't think so. Um, इतनी कोई बात होती है किसी को याद रखने के लिए. Even your families forget you after some time. I feel that most important thing is that I live my life to fullest and I continue to push the boundaries of Indian culture in the Western world. For me, that is, I don't think so मुझे उसके ऊपर कुछ करने की जरूरत भी है. This is the dish. I love the use of edamame, that how these guys have figured out a good way to add a texture, color, and a bite to this dish. And of course, pine nuts. And for a little color, pea shoots. Buon appetito.